Morning. It's well, what is it? It's Sunday, close to midnight. Waiting for the clock to run out here so I can take off again. Been sleeping a lot. Got quite a bit of sleep. I'm in Bush, Colorado, and this is vlog 19, I think. News. Well, let's see. I picked up some friends of mine, their son and daughter-in-law. Their car blew up in Idaho, and they've been stuck there for 2 weeks. They had a carload of their stuff and tools and everything, and they were trying to get back from Yakima to Cheyenne, Wyoming. So I stopped and picked them up. I dropped them off last night in Cheyenne, and I took an hour sleep there, and drove from there to Bush, Colorado. Anyway, it's supposed to be a little bit of snow coming in about 2 a.m. I'm getting ready to beat out of here and try and outrun it. See what happens. You got chains on board? Haven't ever put them on, but I watched the videos on YouTube. It doesn't look hard to put them on. Was a little bit intimidated about, driving in icy and snow conditions, but I'm feeling much better about it now. Also watched some YouTube videos. Very helpful, folks. If you've never driven in the snow in a truck, watch the videos. There's some old timers on there, men been doing it all their lives. They do some videos on there, give you some good tips, and very, very educational. I would recommend. Winter's coming, man. Get on those videos and check it out. So I feel much better about it now. There are no tricks for going downhill in the snow. Screw everybody else. Go very slow. Go slow downhill. That's the only secret about driving a truck down icy roads. Go slow. Going uphill, high RPM. Low gear, high RPM. Keep your RPMs up in the higher range. That way, if you get any slip, you only get a little slip. You don't spin out. You know what I mean? Because your RPMs, if you slip, you're already almost maxed on your RPMs. Just keep your RPMs high. Keep your speed low. And just, climb up that hill. And always, if the pass it says, chains, put your chains on. Stop, put the chains on. So, and chains are doing, 30 miles per hour. So I'm not really intimidated about much of anything at 30 miles per hour. So it'll be all right. Mistakes. What did I learn? Well, gosh, and my boss said don't tell anybody. It was really a dumb mistake. What I did was, when I stopped to pick my load up, they said, run your axle all the way to the back. That's the way the floor don't drop so much when they're driving on and off the forklifts. So I run my axles all the way to the back, and so when I pulled out, I went ahead and slid my axle forward and went over there, and you got this bar you lift and unhook it out of this groove. And then when you back up, the bar drops and it locks in. Well, I seen the bar drop. I did, and the mistake I made was not getting out and actually looking and making sure the pins went in. I'll never do that again. So I'm coming down this pass, and I used my trailer brake a little bit, and there was this jolting, man, and shit flies off my dash, and it's like, what the hell was that? So anyway, emergency flashers, and I pull over, and, I'm checking my fifth wheel, and I'm checking on my tires, and, it's dark out, and I'm flashlight, and I'm looking over, I can't find nothing. What could have caused that? I can't figure it out, So I get back in the truck, and I apply the brakes, and I hit the accelerator, and I apply the brakes, and I can't recreate that jolt. I just didn't know what the heck it was. So I get into Idaho, and I come across the scales, and I get a message, bring paperwork in. So I go in there, and she gives me the spill that I got in the past about, Idaho, we're you're hauling agricultural products, we're agricultural friendly, and we allow you to be heavy on your axles and yada yada yada. But you're not going to be good if you go out. I go, really? Yeah, you're overweight on your drive axles. And it's like, really? Because I checked that out really good. And so she shows me the weights, and I got my paperwork with me, and the weights that I wrote down when I did the scales myself at the orchard. And the reason I didn't drive across Catskills is because I was so good on my weight that I figured even if their scales off, I'm good. So I'm just like, yeah. She says you need to slide your axles some. So I go out there to slide my axles some more, and my axles are all the way to the back. And so, and I have actually seen this myself before. One time I seen the trailer all crashed and the wheels sitting off to the side where they didn't lock their axle in, and it hit so far in the back it just ripped it out, and they lost their axle off the back of the trailer. I've actually seen that. I didn't see it happen, but I've seen the results. And I was very, very fortunate that didn't happen to me. Probably because my speed was so low going down that pass, I was going pretty slow. Otherwise, man, yeah, very dangerous, very stupid mistake on my part. And I learned. It's not enough to look and see that handle's dropped down. Get out of the truck and go to both sides and make sure all your pins are in. So I went to go pull the lever back up to release my pins, and I tried to move my axles, and I couldn't get them to move. And so finally I go inspect all my pins, and one of them is still poking out. So I climbed underneath the truck, and so when you pull that lever, it turns this bar, and on there's some nubs and some little pieces of metal that connect that to the actual pins. So they're held on, they just slip on, and their cotter key holds them on. The cotter key was all rusted and broke off, and it had slipped off. So one of my pins was not releasing. So I got that slipped on, a chunk of the cotter key, wedged it in there, and got it opened up where I could slide my axle. So I got to stop, buy some cotter keys, and it's not dangerous. Once it's locked in, it's held by spring. I just can't. It can come off there, and I wouldn't be able to release the pin when I went with my axle again. So I'll get some cotter keys, and I'm just going to go underneath there and replace them all, because if one's rusted out in that bad condition, they probably all are. So I'm just going to get a package. So there should be 4 cotter keys on the pins. So I'm just going to go in there and pull them all and replace all the cotter keys. So anyway, that's the big thing I learned this trip so far. And I just figured I'd throw it out there anyway. I don't want anybody else to make that mistake. So if you move your axles, don't take any shortcuts, man. Get out there and check out the pins. Anyway, Bush, Colorado. I'm on my way to Terrell, Texas, to the Walmart warehouse there. Got a load of apples, and that's about it. And I'll talk to you later.